Tired of feeling like you're micromanaging your team? Let's talk about your meetings to see how you can empower your team to do the work they need to do without you telling them to do the work they need to do. All projects have to have meetings. They're unavoidable. This is how we get communication. This is how we get information across to the team. This is how we coordinate activities. And yet how we conduct meetings greatly affects how people treat us as the team lead and how productive our team is. Here are a few tips from the book Multipliers by Liz Wiseman, a leadership expert, on how to be more effective in your team meetings. First off, let's talk about the information dump. We all know that most meetings are so that I can tell everybody what's going on and what to do, and I just basically spew information across the team. But let's take a look at how this could become something far more productive with greater buy-in. When you're going through your agenda for the meeting, look at the areas that it's not just about conveying information, but how you can create collaboration with your team through debate. Now, this isn't debate in the sense of people arguing over a point. This is debate in the sense of creating solutions that people come up with themselves, and they're willing to see the project with those perspectives. So this is really more about discussion and collaboration. And again, it might not be appropriate for every single topic that you have on your agenda, but look to see where your meeting can benefit from people discussing and coming up with different solutions to get you to the same place. Because when you have their buy-in, then you have a far more productive team, a far more motivated and engaged team. This is going to require that you aren't going to walk into the meeting with a specific pathway in mind or a specific solution. And that can be uncomfortable and can create some uncertainty, but trust the process. Ultimately, you as the project manager have to approve what comes out of the meeting, but be open to hearing what other perspectives are and understand that those things can work very well in your favor. This means that you may not have the answer to everything going into the meeting, but trust your team. Let them help you come up with a fabulous solution that's going to get you to your goal sooner rather than later. Secondly, set out your agenda for the meeting. It does a couple of things. One, it helps people stay on track with what the purpose of the meeting is, which generally creates a shorter meeting. And isn't that something we all want? What this does is it keeps people focused on target. You're still going to have those people that are going to try to run off on a tangent. And this agenda very effectively and gently helps you to bring them back to say, that's great, but let's stick to the agenda for now. We can talk about that another time or add it to another meeting. The other thing an agenda does is it gets people thinking about their perspective or possibly even coming up with solutions for the topics of the agenda so that you have a more robust discussion, as we were just discussing about in the first point. So have an agenda, present it to your team so they know where you're going. You can help them stay on task easier, and it helps them to generate ideas that can be helpful for you as a team manager moving forward. Last, if you have a team building activity or a game or some kind of play that you're bringing into your team meeting, make sure that it has a purpose. Make sure that you're driving that purpose, even if you're doing so subtly. There was one meeting where I had bought Legos for the team, and I divided the team into two separate groups. So the accounting team was on one side of the table doing their Lego, and the operations team was on the other side. It was fascinating to watch the two teams work. One, because they started to understand a little bit more about what they think and how they approach projects. The other thing, it was very enlightening for me to see how they were interacting with each other, and that actually was quite fun. But there was a purpose to that, and the purpose was to see how people interact and to see how they communicate with each other. Afterwards, we had a debrief, and it was quite interesting to get their input on how the activity affected them. This is information that I was able to take into other team interactions. But the purpose, of course, was to see how people communicated and responded on a task. So whenever you're bringing play or something along those lines in for team building, you want to have purpose. It isn't just to sit around the water cooler and talk. It's really about driving something that you want to see on your team that's going to be beneficial to everybody on the team. Thanks for watching. And if you've had similar experiences, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Or maybe you think, she didn't even know what she's talking about. I'd love to know your perspective on the same thing. Ciao.